Okay, great. Eugene, what about the third one? I'm very curious to know about the third one. What's the third tip?
It also starts with S, okay? And it's story.
Okay,
it's very important. If people are to refer you to their other cousins, to their neighbors, to their ex-classmates, it is very important that they share your values.
Okay, stories, right?
Yeah, correct.
Stories. Okay, so, before you move on, I want to just shout out to our audience. Okay, this is the third tip, dear audiences. So if you have any questions, right, please feel free to post it on the comment section. If you think that someone can benefit from 3 tips from Eugene Seah on personal branding, please feel free to share and like the video and share with your friends. Okay, so now we are going into the third tip, stories. Okay, Eugene, please take it away.
Yes. So in stories, I mean, throughout centuries, people have been sharing stories. And most stories are related to religion, right? Every religion you can think of, Buddhism, Islam, Hinduism, Christianity, Catholicism, everyone shares stories. Right? The entire Quran, Bible, Eugene, Forjing, everything is full of stories. When we think of the Greek philosophers, right, Socrates, Aristotle, it's stories. You know, stories actually make humans. Animals have no stories. I mean, not that I know of. I can't really tell what. Yeah, but humans are full of stories. And how do we create a family culture? Right? Like Jason, you are a very strong family man. How do you create a family culture? By sharing stories, by creating traditions, so that your girls grow up knowing that, hey, on Christmas we do this, during Papa's birthday we do this, during Mama's birthday we do this, and then once in a while Papa bring us for charity events, to raise funds, to go to the park. So all these are experiences and stories through life, and through stories we communicate our values. If you talk about integrity, how do I know you have integrity? When I share stories, he said, hey, my father last time, almost someone wanted to bribe him, but he said no. He'd rather stand firm in his truth than to be bribed by a few $1,000s. That's a story. And then how do we know this guy has grit and resilience? Then we share a story. He said, hey, this guy lost his job, and then he almost became bankrupt, but he just bounced back, and he decided to start a brand new company that does coaching. So it's always through stories. Right? There's no way you can share bullet points about values. It's just not believable.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if you are being interviewed by a parent, let's say, right? Then the parent say, oh, we are shopping around for a tutor. You're the 4th tutor we are meeting to interview. We just want to find a good tutor for our son. So tell me, why should I hire you? And say, oh, because I've been a tutor for the past 12 years. I have 3 different degrees from 3 different universities, and also because I am fun-loving, have integrity, very kind-hearted. Do you think you're going to get a job? This is called a list of bullet points. Nobody cares about a list of bullet points. Immediately share a story already. I say, actually, I really think I'm quite ordinary. Just that these are a few parents who told me that, wow, I inspired their child. He didn't want to study. He was even playing truant, and he failed in his mathematics. And then 3 months after that, wow, I was also very shocked. All I did was just give my best. But suddenly start to have B3. You may not think B3 is great, but he started with F9. So all of us were very happy. The parents even bought me fruits. I say, no, please. I'm just teaching your child because I want to help him. Please don't give me this kind of fruits and Rolex watch and all that. I'm not interested. This is a story, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a story.
It's much better than a list of bullet points.
And it's a very ordinary story. I mean, I'm sure many of our tutors can come up with some stories from their career. But it's just that
I've been teaching for some time. Definitely there will be stories.
Exactly, but it's just that we don't write it down. We think that it's just very ordinary. It's
like everyday life. And we are not doing justice to ourselves. If we don't know how to share authentic, real stories of before and after, then nobody else will ever believe us.
Okay. You just touched on a very interesting point because in the tuition industry for the longest time, right, we have been just showing a list of transformation in terms of grades. Or you will see that this person coming from what school, change from enroll for how long, typically lah.
Yeah.
Then from what grade to what grade, and
Mm.
you see this pasted on at the door of a tuition center, the whole list of it. You can find it on the website. So this is the story that we think that we should tell. But
Mm.
according to you, we should go even deeper, right?
Yeah.
Tell the real story, not the grades.
Emotional resonance. Please write this down. Emotional resonance. If you have like, oh, this person has this grade, that grade, or 95% of my students all could get into Raffles and Hwa Chong, that one has logical resonance. It is missing the emotional resonance. So emotional resonance is, wow, my child hated tuition. We changed 4 different tutors, and he just said like, "Mommy, please stop sending me. It's a torture." And then the moment we found Jason, my child suddenly said, "Hey, when is the next session? Can we have a few more hours per week?" It's like, "Hey, what's going on?" Then when I asked my child said, Mr. Jason actually makes me feel valued, important, respected. And I'm only 15. I'm sorry to say that in school nobody makes me feel this way, and only through Mr. Jason I feel this way. Can you imagine? Then the parent will be thinking like, wow, my child is really very, very well looked after. Every time I send him to a tuition, 1 hour, 2 hours, I know that he's not just getting good grades, that his self-esteem is being built up, that he's actually acquiring positive values. So all this needs to be shared through stories. So there are 3 kinds of stories. Number 1, as what I mentioned, is called client stories. No, we owe it to ourselves. We go and buy a book from Popular, and not sponsored by Popular, by the way. Yeah, go and buy a book and then start to write down. Every time somebody says something, don't just say 没有啦，不是啦，我理所当然的啦。Hello, write down already. Say, hey, sorry, can you just repeat that one more time? Can I quote you on this if you don't mind? Right, if you're okay, I share your name. If you're not okay, I will just say Mr. Stan. You need to write down all these stories from the child, from the father, from the mother, from other tutors. Just write multiple client stories. Story number 2, personal stories. Like, why did I become a tutor? I said, hey, Mr. Stan, actually, I almost became a lawyer. Yeah, but, no offense to lawyer. By the way, is your husband a lawyer? No? Okay, good. Yeah. So, like, lawyers, they basically just defend anybody who pays them money. And this doesn't really resonate with me as a Christian or as a human being or as a father of 2. I'd rather do something that is permanently impactful, and that's why I chose the educational sector. Then the parents are thinking like, wow, I thought you're just in it for the money. Right? So you're sharing your mission, your vision, your life purpose. It's no longer just like, I was actually retrenched, nothing better to do, so I joined Maths Tutor. Yeah, so we need to share our personal story. Yes. Very, very important. Or when I was a student, I was exactly like your son. I didn't want to study. Of course, don't make up stories because I was very studious as a child. But let's say some of the tutors were not studious, were lazy, played truant. And then same thing, right? They can say like, Mr. Stan, you may not believe me. Today I have Masters of Science and all that. But actually, when I was 15, I also didn't want to study. I failed a lot of subjects. I said, really? 不可能吧? Really? I said, really. I even put a picture of how bad my grades are. Yeah, I can hear construction going on in your house.
Yeah. I think my neighbor, doing some. So my mic is very good.
You want me to send my lawyer to your house?
No need.
Just joking. I got no lawyer. Yeah. So that's a personal story.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready for the third story?
Yes.
Just to answer Jeffrey Teo's question, is client story the same as testimonials? Yes and no. Okay, so testimonials, when I saw the testimonial, it doesn't look like a story. Okay, for example, a typical testimonial I've seen before. Jason is one of the best tutors I've ever seen in Singapore. Well done, Jason. Is that a story?
No, that's not a story. That's a testimonial.
Or like, oh, my son really loved Jason's tuition. You know, he is highly recommended! Exclamation mark.
Testimonial
So,
again.
if we want to turn testimony into story, you need to give clients a template. Okay, the same way you gave me a template for today's interview.
Yeah. Okay. It makes things easy,
share,
right?
Yeah, make things easy. Can you describe what your child was like before joining my tuition? Can you describe how your child feels when he joins my tuition? Can you describe what differences you see in your child in recent months? So and so forth. So you can actually keep a template so that by the time you are done with filling your questions, you get a story.
Okay,
and
great.
if you're brave enough, stick a camera in their face. Okay, nothing beats actually having a parent saying with tears in her eyes, right? I can't believe Jason is a godsend to my family. Right? Can you imagine? Well, that will beat any kind of written testimonial you can have.
I think that the key is to be authentic, right?
Yeah.
Don't have to speak perfect English, because I have this person in mind, right? She doesn't speak very good English, but she has called me so many times to say that she's very appreciative of what I've done for the kid. I just want to confirm that actually don't need to be picture perfect.
No need. The more broken, the better. Yeah.
Then you need subtitles, right?
It needs to be Phua Chu Kang style, very, very authentic. Yeah.
Okay.
The third kind of story, because some people struggle, like let's say new tutors, right? Completely new tutor, first week being a tutor, then obviously don't have client stories, right? Yeah, and then some don't have some inspirational story from their life. I don't know how a person can end up not having an inspirational story from his own life. Yeah, but it happens. Okay, some people really like, I dig and dig and nothing comes out. I say, I'm just like ordinary. I studied hard and I wanted to be a tutor because it's flexi timing. That's all. Okay, then don't say that because it sounds very boring. Yeah. So if you don't have client story, don't have personal story, then no choice. Okay. You have to go to the third one, which is inspirational stories. Yeah, you have to pull out from somebody. Let's say like, hey, do you know that Richard Branson has this dyslexia, and yet he can run 7 successful multi-million-dollar companies? If he can do it, so can you. Right?
Okay.
Yeah. This is the last resort, by the way, because if you keep sharing Richard Branson's story, Jack Ma's story, like, oh, he was rejected by KFC, rejected by Harvard, because everybody else shared the same story, you see, because it's not your story and not your client's story.
Yes.
Yeah, but at least better than no story, lah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so the best is a client story and then your personal story.
Yes.
And then if you really bo pian, then you go for inspirational stories.
Yes, yeah. And you can get inspirational story on Google. Don't be lazy. Right? Don't be lazy. You know one of the reason this United Square learning whatever is very famous is because of stories. Their comprehension passages is not about Peter and Jane went to school. It's about Elon Musk.
Yes. Heard about that.
It's about Jack Ma. I got so shocked when my son came home and tell me, like, do you know who is Malala Yousafzai? I was like, who is Malala Yousafzai? She's the youngest Nobel Peace Laureate in the world. I was like, tell me more. She was shot in the head by Taliban. I was like, I sent you to tuition, you come back with current affairs. Yeah, because they want to, they are teaching English, obviously. Yes. But at the same time, why share English through Peter and Jane?
Exactly.
Yeah, share through real life stories and not from long ago like Albert Einstein. Share from the past 10 years, Ken.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, actually, one of my dreams is that if mathematics, right, we stop teaching students about collecting stamps, Peter has 123 stamps, Jane has 56 stamps, then how many stamps do they have? Use more current things to teach them. Like, yeah, it will be so much better, so much more fun. So I used to write this PSLE problem solving book, right? Although now I specialize in secondary school, but so I throw in a lot of things like these kind of things. Like you play games, you know, high score is this one, but you are this. How much are you short of? I think that engages students a lot more. Rather than having them
your
rolling
father
over.
give you $25 this week. You know, you spend $9 on your food, $3 on what, but you manage to earn $5 from selling. So you know, this is like real life story of spending money, collecting money, and then you can do mathematics this way.
Yes. Okay. Eugene, now I want to move on to a segment, right, where we talk about the workshop that you mentioned to me just now.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah. So I think it's really, really important. Can you tell us more about this workshop, this webinar?
Okay, so I am running this